Hey guys, it's Derek from Pacific Coast Auto here in Japan, and we're taking a look at a car we recently bought from auction, JZX100 Toyota Chaser. And so these have become quite popular vehicles all of the sudden, probably in they've always been popular, but in the last 5 to 10 years they've become super popular with drifting because they're an amazing car. In fact, these are one of my all-time favorite cars. You get rear-wheel drive in a mid to large size vehicle, but it feels very much like a small vehicle when you drive it. 4 doors, 1JZ, single turbo, 280 horsepower engine, very great for modifying. In fact, one of the best engines for modifying. And the looks of it are great. They're the goodness of the 90s Japanese cars plus 15 points. Because of the 90s cars, this is one of the best looking ones, I think. Now this comes in 3 different styles, the Chaser, the Mark II, and the Cresta. They're all basically the same car with different looking bodies, but all fairly similar, 3-box design. Okay, so this is going to be a review of the condition of this car bought from auction. This one's going to be exported to a customer in Finland. Okay, so first off, 156,982 kilometers on this car. Engine runs lovely and very reliable engines. I find that these vehicles are good with higher mileage, but in the last few years, we're seeing more abuse in these cars because they're commonly used as drift cars. This one, I'm not sure so much, but the back tires are bald, front tires are almost bald, but no difficult modifications or things that would be challenging to undo. Okay, so the 1J is the little brother to the 2J, and I just had another video of one. For some reason, that station wagon comes with the 1J engine as well, and just love them. 2004, the timing belt was changed at 93,000 kilometers. I don't know for certain, but I believe that these are non-interference engines, so if the timing belt breaks, it won't bend your valves like in most engines. I don't know for certain, but it is a Yamaha head, and I think the majority of those engines are non-interference. Okay, it's double wishbone, and this is kind of fun. This is something that I have never mentioned before, but look at the strut top here, but notice how the metal comes up a lot over here. The reason for that is to give clearance for your upper wishbone, and this is good because on a lot of double wishbone cars, you don't have that extra clearance, so you're limited in the type of and the amount of travel that you can get, especially for a lowered car. With the extra clearance, you can see that top wishbone can move way up in there to give you better suspension travel. Kind of the same thing that the actually a lot of rally cars from the 80s, what they did was they would modify the original suspension so that you can get your longer amount of travel. I was thinking Lancia Delta, even though it's not a double wishbone, it's McPherson's in the front. Anyways, enough of the boring technical stuff. Our coolant looks good, our oil looks bad and dirty. Not like there's a problem, but it just needs to be changed. It's been in there for too long. Oil leaks can be a thing on these engines. This one doesn't seem to have any, so that's good. I'm gonna close the hood here. Okay. Have a quick look at the awesomeness of the JZX100. Now I really like the JZX80 series and the 90 series, and the 100s are the last of the good ones. The 110s, they stopped making the Chaser and only made the Mark II. They look kind of dumb in my opinion, but they're very good driving and handling and feeling cars. But these are the best of the JZX in my opinion. We've got an aftermarket grille. The Chaser has the kind of BMW-like headlights, and then front mount intercooler with the super common cut out the front grille in order to have better air for your intercooler modification. And then we got aero on the front lip, side skirts, and then the rear bumper as well. I'll get to that in just a second. Now, my apologies, the vehicle is super gunky at the moment. You take a look at the hood. It just snowed, and this car came in on a slushy day. And so it's got all of the road spray on the car at the moment. And so, thumbs down, sorry. Okay, Workmeister wheels. Some of my favorite wheels, and they are amazing on this car. Now, the owner of this decided to stay with a 17, which is rather small for this chassis, I think. They would look better with 18s, but a 17 gives you a better performing wheel and tire because they weigh less, and weight of the wheel is super important. Okay. So it's very sunny, so it's going to be difficult to read that in the direct sunlight. And so let's go hiding over here. You can hear that exhaust. Okay, so let's read this, and my apologies, this is very bad handwriting here, so there are a few that I can't read very well, and so bear with me. The actual report from the auction is completely readable. So 1996, that would be the first year of this. Chaser Tourer V, 156, 982 kilometers, original 5-speed, and you gotta watch out for this because a lot of them these days are swaps from autos to manuals because the manuals are worth a heck of a lot more than the autos. It's color changed to black, but actually it was black before that. But you can tell, this is one of the big problems on the car, is it has been repainted and the repaint was done poorly. Now you can salvage that if you wet sand the car, but it is a lot of work to do that properly. Okay, auction grade 3. And auction grade 3 is a weird grade. It can mean either a low grade car or a car that has some accident damage or some other kind of problem. I'm kind of guessing that they decided to give it an auction grade 3 because of the exterior and the paint finish on there. But interior is a B, maybe a little bit high because it does have cigarette burns in it, but I'll get to that in a sec. So it's original 5-speed manual, crystal shift knob. These are really funny and really awesome, very much a JDM thing. And I don't know where it came from, but it is funny. 1JZ GTE engine, and so that's a wide valve angle single turbo version of the 1J. And this has some parts from the late model version of the car, even though this is an early model. So late model is Koki and early model is Zenki. Some of you guys have heard those terms before. Okay, so aftermarket adjustable suspension. Workmeister wheels on it, and it says that, try to read that. Oh, it's 8 inches wide on the front and 9 inches wide on the back. Fronts are 225 and backs are 255, and then the backs are nothing. Look, all the tread is gone in the center, and so the guy didn't know how to put the proper air pressure in there. HPI front mount intercooler, aero parts, lip style, and oh geez, stainless steel exhaust, TRD front mesh grille. Now that one is a little bit misaligned. Just quickly give you although the sellers with all these comments, come on. It's a little bit misaligned because it's only in there with zip ties, and I had to zip tie it in because one of the screws wasn't on there properly, and so that needs to be screwed in properly when you get the car. Okay, we're almost done here. Bear with me for a second here. Orange color change for the gauges. It's neat. Usually the gauges are green. Interior and exterior, some pieces changed to late model. HID lights and fog lights from the late model. Front seat side airbag. Nashi. So the airbag has been removed out of the seats. No, or it just says no airbag in the seats. That's weird. I didn't think these had seat airbags, at least not in the early models. And oh man, why is it such bad handwriting? I'm sorry, I can't read that. And then late model dash panel. Okay, phew. If you're selling a car, you need to write nice, clean handwriting like this, not super messy, super small handwriting, because this is going to drive me crazy. Okay, steering wheel, this is from the auction house. That's from seller. So auction house here. Steering wheel is peeling, seat saggy and cigarette burn. Wheels scratched, jack and tools are missing. Exterior only has been color changed and has uneven paint on it. Suspension area rust and corrosion and various surface rust. Now I couldn't find the suspension area rust. Generally it'll be on the top mounts here. I did show those earlier in the video and they're not rusty at all. And then if you peek in here, you can't find any rust at all either. You can see the adjustable suspension, but I don't see any rust or corrosion in there. And so you really are going to need a lift to find out exactly how much rust that has. Okay, so let's do the once around here. And for being a large vehicle, these feel very nimble, and thanks to the very well sought out suspension, much more than even cars nowadays for the most part, because cars these days they make cheap, because all the manufacturers can't make any money if you make nice, good, expensive cars that beat the pants off of everybody else, and that's exactly what the Chaser was. It's a car that, the Chaser and the Celsior and many of Toyota's cars from basically the mid-80s until the year 2000 or so, all their cars just completely stood out and rocked the world, and everyone else was running and crying. But then Toyota and every other manufacturer, they decided, you know what, you just can't make money doing that anymore. And so they found out what the customers wanted, and they gave the customers what they wanted, and they didn't give the customers the things that they didn't want. And so part of that is the cheapening of the vehicles. This rear spoiler's been removed. I think the car looks awesome with the rear spoiler removed, but they filled it with body filler and painted over it, and you can tell. I got another video showing that in more detail. I love the C-pillar, and I love the tail lights and the huge trunk at the end. It looks good with this style of rear bumper too, I think. Okay, with the adjustable suspension, you'd be able to lower it a little bit. I actually like the look of this height, but I know a lot of people who like this car prefer it to be lower than that, and so you can if you want. These are the late model tail lights, I believe. So good looking tail lights. Sort of Altezza-like, but not Altezza-like. Exhaust sounds great. Okay, and so we got A2 on the back here. And then on the front it said A1, but I would call this an A2. Right down here. Now besides those things, the car has basically no scratches or dents, which is good. But here you can see the wavy paint, and have a close look, because this is kind of a big problem. This should be much clearer with sharper reflections than that. Especially when you come up here. It depends on the curvature of the body. And then we have kind of these, if you look, you see those three lines? They're not actually on there. That's a reflection thing, and so that comes from like car washing your car through those vinyl straps slapping car washes. You know, the ones that spin the things. Don't put your car through those unless you don't like your car. Okay, interior time. Got a little bit of discoloration up here. It's UV damage. Otherwise, door cards, pretty good. Cool carbon fiber piece in there. Okay, steering wheel is peeling at the top. Give you a quick look at that. Driver's seat has 3 cigarette burns. And they are the original driver's seats, and I like these seats. They're good. You get the 2 different changes for the front and the back. For height, need these for people with my legs. If you have the exact legs as me, then you need those. Big cigarette burn here, which is weird, because I don't understand how you're going to get a cigarette burn there, because that's exactly where your bum goes. It could have been painful. He could have been like jumping in his seat and the cigarette fell underneath that, but I can't think of any other way that you would get that. Small cigarette burn, right, hard to see because of how dark it is. 2 there. There it is. Okay, so 4, but they're very small. 3 of them are small. Okay. Here's the orangey gauges. Now we have an airbag. Airbag? What? No. What is that? Seat belt is not on. But there's the seat belt is not on with a circle. I don't know what that means. 157,015 kilometers on there. We get swing vents. Look at that. Oscillating vents. If only those were in every single car, I would adore it. Turn those off for now. Can't have too much coolness without your head exploding. Now, I don't think the AC worked. Let me rephrase this. When I shot the report for the inside, I thought that the AC didn't work very well. It feels colder now, and so it might work, but it might be just not working very efficiently. So a cleanup of the condenser might be in order. Okay, this is auto AC. If you want to, I'm just going to turn that off for now. Okay, tape deck, CD deck. All of this is the stock ones. I love that. I love the stock CD. I don't like aftermarket CD players. Air filter or air purifier. Check this out. Place for your smokes. and a place after you're done with your smokes. Now the vehicle smells like it has been smoked in, and so it's going to need a good cleaning and ozone, which is a way that you get rid of the cigarette smell. Passenger seat is good, and dashboard no deformations. That's a weird one. Just like the R32 Skyline, a lot of these dashboards get deformed, and this one's not, so that's good. Chaser. Kind of a weird name, Chaser. That implies that somebody else is faster than you. But then again, it would be really dumb having a car called the Winner or the Chased. Really dumb. Okay, this comes down. It's dusty in the back here. Ashtray, thick pile carpets, and it looks like some sort of a CD player unit over there. Love the size of the trunk in the back here. It's just such a good family car-sized car. And then dad can go brum brum, or mom. Mom can do that too. Pieces of the trim is inside here. Underneath is a spare tire. It's in good working condition. No water or rust in the bottom there. I think it's a late model badge on there. I don't remember seeing this version of the badge on there. Anyways, that's going to be the end of the video. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Wow, we got to 16.5 minutes on this one. Whoops. That's a bit too long because that stupid auction sheet. Okay, so hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.